Miami, 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 Miami. It feels like Miami.
Heat win! Heat win! It feels good to say that again, guys. Like, I mean, ended 2024 with a win, began 2025 with a win. Listen, I heard Franky's telling me chat was on fire last game, that we were too negative. People were like, what happened? We won. You know what I mean? So we are going to stay positive, all right? First of all, Terry Rozier had his best play of 2024, and then in 2025 had his best play again by getting suspended, and we didn't like. It is so much more enjoyable to watch the team when Terry Rozier is playing. But I'm not going to harp on Terry. Listen, man, this is a professional last win. They came out, they beat a team that they needed to beat at home. The Heat has been fantastic at home. Franky, when is the last time we could say that shit? Like, the Heat play at home, and I expect them to win. And like they just been like just a middling home team for a few years now. So now they've become this dominant home team. They beat a Pelicans team that they needed to beat because the Pelicans have been putrid on the road. They only have 5 wins on the season. We saw a lot of really good things tonight. First of all, the story continues to be that Tyler Herro is an all-star this year. Tyler Herro is an amazing player. Tyler Herro has done everything the Heat have asked him to do, everything the fans have asked him to do. Change your shot profile. Stop shooting so many mid-range shots. He's done that. Shoot more threes. He's done that. 5th in the league in threes. I mean, efficient as hell. Really good decision making, good passing. The defense has been better. And the thing is, he's never going to be a great defender, but he is. Someone says, now Alf got the Butler jersey back up. Yeah, Jimmy's back. That's another narrative for tonight. But yeah, really, I mean, the main story to me is Tyler Herro. The other story to me is Duncan Robinson's back with the foot inflammation. Scored 17, 18 points tonight. Looked really good. They didn't play him in the fourth quarter. I think a lot of that's to do because they have a back-to-back with foot inflammation. You want to let the guy rest if you don't need him. Jimmy Butler came back. Whether Jimmy is scoring or not, my God, you saw the difference, guys, when he's on the floor. Like, they guard him. They're terrified of him. Like, it ain't Jaime starting. So, a lot of people it's a big deal when Jimmy's out there. Like, it created so much space in that first quarter. Someone said Duncan beat gout. So did Alf after my lamb chops and whiskey marathon for Christmas. And to me, and my thing, because the way I've been killing this motherfucker, Bam fourth quarter points, Bam fourth quarter scoring, Bam showing up huge in the fourth quarter, getting you buckets when a team is trying to make a comeback. Unlike the Atlanta game where Bam could give you nothing to stop the tide, to stop the Avalanche, because the other teams are keying in on Tyler Herro. He's a 25, 26 point per game scorer this year. They're going to key in on him at the end of games, and Bam has to step up, and he finally did tonight. Anyway, welcome into the Miami Heat Beat post-game show. I am your host, Alf954, and with me today is Franky. Franky, the 2K coach. I hate that. I'm going to call you something else.
Please do.
I'm going to figure it out.
Please do.
You know what? You look like the guy. What do they say in Spider-Man? The guy in the chair.
The guy in the chair.
Yeah, like you. You got monitors everywhere. You got your big headphones. Like, you look like you were helping a superhero navigate through the air ducts in a laboratory. Like, you look like.
Take the third left on.
Yes. Oh my God, the blueprints must have changed. Anyway. And then
God, it's 2025. Fuck.
And also, we have Kyle. Kyle, I don't have a nickname for you yet. I'm gonna call you Specs for tonight.
We all got glasses too.
I love it. New year, new me. Kyle came out here with the flair. What's going on, Kyle?
What's going on, man? Like the win. I liked it. There's really not much to it. They just played smart. They didn't play with their food. I thought that for a little bit we were going to get one of these clutch games we didn't need. Glad we didn't get that. So I'm glad that they just took care of business. And Tyler has to be an all-star. to add to your point, he has to be an all-star. I don't know how he wouldn't be one. The records are so close. I know it's going to be tight, but he should be an all-star. I feel like the team played well. I think it was also a step that Jimmy didn't have to do too much coming back from being on IVs and ankle and all that stuff. They played team ball. He was able to kind of just play defense and then get a good win. So
Played
I'm
a
glad
little
that,
defense.
yeah.
CJ was taking his motherfucking lunch.
Yeah, well, it was CJ in the second half, and then Trey Murphy. I don't know who told him to be Kevin Durant in the first half, but he just was unguardable.
Like once he started missing, I was like, okay, it's a wrap. It's okay. I started to feel a lot better. But yeah, let's kind of just go through the game, Franky. Super hot start. We had the what we've seen to be, and I think it's quite obviously their best starting lineup that they've shown. I think we can get. I want to keep it positive, but I think both of us, and I think a lot of people at Heat Beat feel there is another step. There's another lineup that could be a little bit, even a little bit better. But right now, Franky, with this starting lineup, I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they've had a lot of success. Haywood even had a bad night, but Haywood being out there, being a defensive stopper, Bam playing well, Duncan and Tyler, who I still don't believe in, but it's getting really hard for me to stop. They have 50 points between the two of them tonight.
Yeah, about 49
points between the two of them. Franky, this starting lineup, as much as I like it compared to basically anything else we're doing, I still have my doubts about it, but it's working.
Yeah, and we've seen Duncan, Jimmy, Bam has worked for 6 years. The problem with Tyler and secretly with Tyler has worked as well, but it's just always been so hard to have a fifth guy that can pick up the slack defensively that the Leches lack. And Haywood, is versatile. He doesn't care about his touches. He's the perfect fifth option. He can hit. He can move without the ball. He can cut. He can make plays. He can move he moves the ball. And he just fits. He knows spatially where to be. And we've seen how much Duncan and this year, Tyler especially, has really greased the wheels offensively with their off-ball movement, their spacing, their willingness to shoot. And Bam, even though he's not always a willing shooter and doesn't always shoot efficiently from three yet, him spacing at the 3-point line has helped a lot of people. Just being there has got Jimmy career high at the rim, Tyler career high at the rim. A lot of guys, even though Bam's struggling, a lot of guys are having career years just because Bam's out of the way, and that makes a big difference. And the starting lineup, I'm with you. I still think the Nico instead of Duncan is something they can utilize going forward. But until this really breaks, I'm rolling with it.
Yeah, Kyle, at this point, you just see the fit. They're getting away. I feel like they're getting away with murder with the Duncan Herro backcourt, and I don't think it's going to be good. I don't think it's going to work against elite teams. It hasn't worked against elite teams, but it feels like fortuitously they haven't really played a lot of elite teams when this lineup has been healthy. So it's kind of, I think it's a smoke and mirrors. But what's your take on the starting lineup, and is there another level they can get to?
I do think there's another level. I think the backcourt is going to go as long as they're making those shots. If either one of them starts making those shots or both, well, we know who's going to the bench. It's not going to be Tyler. So, Dunk coming off the bench isn't a bad thing. I think until, you said earlier, if it's not broken, don't fix it. If it's working right now and it gets you some wins, that helps. And all the wins count. So I think Duncan just has to keep taking those shots. I think that we've seen in the past that sometimes he hesitates to trigger that. Bro, we need you taking those. If they go in, great. If they miss, we'll get it on the next rotation down. But he helps space the floor. It gives Bam working room. It also allows Franky Haywood some working room as well. So he tends to be he tends to make himself available down in the post on a cut or try to get to the basket for a little push shot. And you said he didn't he doesn't need as much touches, but when he does get touches, he's seemingly looking to make a good decision with the ball. I do think Jovic helps Jovic helps with the facilitating when he's in the lineup. It helps more like flow wise as far as being able size on defense, because I think he uses his size relatively well and he's going to get better with that. But I think playmaking wise, it opens it up. If he makes that three a little bit more, that helps with the spacing. I think that's just going to take time. And so I do think this lineup can get better. And then Bam, of course, is just going to do his thing. I that's a multitude of things. So I'm not going to say one thing or the other. But him being able to pull the ball off the rim and bring it up court, get everybody organized helps a lot. So, the better everybody else is, the easier it is for Jimmy to play his game when we need him to play his game.
I mean, Bam 23, 10, and 9. I mean, talking about from 2-point land, 9 for 12. Like this is the Bam game, Frankie. This is what we want to see out of him. Especially late when you need easy points around it, he shot a couple of jumpers, but he got some stuff inside. This is the Bam I want to see more often. It's not even about the scoring. I don't need to see vintage bamboo.
I don't know why that made me laugh.
I don't even know why you put it up. I don't need to see 23 points out of Bam every single night. I really don't. I know I'm in the minority on that, but what I want to see is 9 for 12, right?
Yeah.
I want to see, above 60% from 2-point range, and right. I think we saw a lot of that tonight. Duncan got him some easy buckets. A lot of guys got him easy buckets, but also he forced the issue on guys like Tice, right?
Right.
Every time he saw Tice, it was barbecue chicken, and that's the stuff I'm like, bro, what's up with you?
Do it every night.
Yeah,
and he can do it every night. I'm not sure if he's more hesitant with specific teams on size. If he's not gonna, I don't know what's going on in his head.
I think
as far as
he knows he owns Tice. He knows it. Like from going back to the Celtic days, he
5 years
owns
now.
Tice. Like he's like, man, that's my bitch. He's like, there it is. Yeah. Go ahead, Frankie.
Yeah, he I think a certain matchup still though, because he's not a great ball handler, and like he doesn't have the physicality to like take advantage of guys. Like we saw him struggle against the Magic. He can't. Goga's a really good defender. He's like all the metrics. Like I know nobody watches Magic games outside of the games we have to watch.
I do.
No, I'm talking about the chat. Oh. But Goga is a good, really good defender, and he's not a guy Bam could just like body and get to his spots. Bam bodies him and gets off balance. That's his problem. And Bam doesn't have great balance as it is. So guys like Tice, where it's a similar body, it's a wash, and Bam could be more effective. But like there was other possessions where he's catching it at the elbow and rising up right away, and catching at the free throw line, being decisive, being aggressive, facing up, going to the cup, getting to the free throw line, 5 free throws. Chad mentioned he had a couple dunks tonight, and that's stuff you want to see. I still think we talked about this on Blue Sky. Jimmy is the best Bam defender on the lob. Him in the dunker spot just takes away so many lobs from Bam, and that's this wrinkles where they can still make it more effective, and part of that is on Jimmy as well to take advantage of that. But yeah, like this kind of game, I love. My favorite thing is the 10 assists. Some of the passes. We have some plays here, some clips here for some of those passes he makes. Like he's one of the more talented passers and makes things easier because he Bam is better used as a passer, as a facilitator, and cleanup guy. I don't want Bam creating with 15 seconds on the clock and dribbling the air out of the ball.
Well, go ahead, Frank, because I wanted to play some of those plays because one of the things I noticed at the beginning of the game, because you don't have a true point guard in that starting lineup, Bam was initiating everything at the beginning of the game, and I loved it.
You see Jimmy slip right here on the screen. Bam finds him a little late on the pass, but good hit right there.
But the speed on the pass made up for it being late, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He bulleted that in. If he lobbed it in, Jimmy would have pump faked 4 times and passed it out.
And it's CJ, so that's nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
And we got another one right here. This one was so pretty.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's pretty pass, man.
He just dropped it off so nicely right in front of Duncan on the cut. You see this read here, top locked. Good read.
I absolutely was like, this is gonna get blocked.
That pass is not abnormal because he did that Game 5 Bucks. twice going down the floor. It's not a pass that he can't make. It's on the receiver to get the ball and be in the right spot for it.
Well, Duncan usually gets that shit blocked. Let's be honest. So Bam doesn't get credit for that. We don't play it, but like
you see, Duncan took off from outside of the circle, so that it made it harder for them to block.
Because usually Duncan takes one more step.
Yeah, exactly.
It's done. It's smoked. It's in the third row.
And then I got some this one from Tyler, just real nice. Thought he got fouled. Clutch 3 right there. Here, let's talk about this one. Early on.
Up 11. Like what?
Alf, was this the it's time and a half, New Year's Eve, I'm working?
No, that was I want to be a Phoenix Sun. That's what that was. Like
honestly, that's I was on IVs. I'm gonna remind y'all what I like doing from the corner.
It's 10 seconds on the shot.
Yeah, whatever.
It's 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Did he take another shot after? He barely took a shot for the rest of the game after.
Yeah,
this.
5 shots. I don't even know. Oh man,
I mean, everything was. It was either. I mean, he hit a 3.
My goodness. Okay, yeah, Trey Murphy. My God.
Yeah, listen. Yikes. As soon as that guy started to come back down to earth, I knew it was over. I knew it was a wrap. I was like, you ain't doing that for 4 quarters. Like
right.
It's just and like him just putting the ball on the floor. One thing I did want to talk about is. One thing we've seen a difference in Duncan's game, and then after this, I really want to talk about the bench guys because we talked for 20 minutes about the starters, and I believe the starters need to be talked about. I do think it's like we've just seen what happens when they get off to good starts, and then they don't just blow ass the whole third quarter. It's important, and I want to talk about the second unit. But one thing I want to do is when we talk about Duncan in the dribble handoff, and I don't know if you guys have noticed. I'm sure you have because you guys analyze ball more than I do. I'm here for vibes. The fact that he looks to go downhill on the handoff, like 60% of the time now, instead of it being like, always a side step or always looking for a 3. That downhill movement by him, like he's getting to the rim so consistently and he draws so much attention. He's kicking out for really good shots, or he's actually just finishing at the rim over defenders, which is crazy. Like, I just love that wrinkle to the game where it's just like he's not just hunting threes. It's like the dude's, he's scoring like 8 points, in the paint. I think he had 8 points in the paint tonight. Yeah. Like that is a big, big difference from 2019 to 2022 Duncan.
Yeah, he had 4 2-point makes. Like that early on Duncan, he would make reads, but it was all on cuts. Like he would get top locked and he'll back cut. If you overplay him, he'll take advantage, and that's what would make him his bread and butter. But now he evolved. We saw it since last year. He's added that dribble game, and I think the defense overreacts because we're not gonna let this white guy fucking score on us. Not Duncan Robinson, not fucking Jimmy Neutron over here. But yeah, he's been, to his credit, he's done a really good job, not overcomplicating it. He pushes the dribble ahead of himself to take advantage of his length. And I know he doesn't always play like it, but Duncan is 6'7", 6'8", and he will remind you on offense, and he'll push ahead and 1-2 step. And we've seen the highlights of him when he was in Sioux Falls. There's a lot of talent there that he doesn't always get to utilize. But he's done such a great job, and his passing has always been kind of underrated. Simple stuff.
He's one of the best. He may be the best passer on the team this year. But Kyle, one of the things, the fact that we've been begging guards for rim pressure. Yeah. And then for last year, last year we started to see it more and more until the back injury. And for this year, for him to be the guard that gives you the best rim pressure on the team is something else. He's giving you that rim pressure that we've been begging from our guards.
Right. And that goes back to your earlier point. The Tyler Duncan lineup, they're both pressuring the rim aside from shooting threes. Yeah. And that opens so much for Spo offensively. And it allows for the team to flow a little bit better. And even when the threes are not dropping, it's easier for them to function when those two guys make pressure. Because of course, to Franky's point, they overreact to the three. So, we're not going to let him get the three off. Okay, well, if you're going to take the three, I'm going to try to get to the basket. If I'm not going to make the layup, I'm going to get fouled. And I think one of the things that is a factor is Duncan is 6'7". However, and I think this is just the league that picks on guys. He's not that bad a defender. I'm not saying he's a lockdown defender. He's not a bad defender. However, he's got the worst whistle. He has to be top 5 in the league in worst whistle year for year. They do not give him the credit or the benefit of the doubt when he's guarding guys.
No, he's moving his feet really well. Jovic is moving his feet really well. Which I mean blew my mind. There was a time I was like, oh, this will blow by, and Jovic just stood CJ McCollum up, and I'm like, holy shit, right? But yeah, I've always thought that he was an underrated defender. I don't think he's a good defender.
Good team.
He's a very good team defender. Like he's had a lot of steals, a lot of pass breakups, a lot of deflections this year. That don't go in a box score. I mean, the steals do, but the deflections don't. Just really disruptive in passing lanes. So.
He's one of the few guys in the rotation that'll take charges.
Yeah, or at least tries, but then normally it's a blocking foul.
Yeah, because they don't fucking.
They don't. His biggest thing is the problem is when he gets beat and he starts reaching, and it's like, dude, just like, and that's where even sometimes it's not even. It shouldn't be a foul call, but at that point when you see that unathletic guy reaching, it's like it's just so easy. It's so easy for the ref. But okay, I do want to move on to
hold on one play because we know somebody who doesn't fuck with Duncan right now. Look at Zaddy. Get the fuck out of my chair.
I thought that shit was hilarious. Yo. Yo, you know what? They put up a graphic tonight about some game they play at halftime or whatever, and Jimmy's leading. And I saw Jay Rich was second. I completely forgot that motherfucker team. Completely forgot. Like
you're hoping Terry's next. Like
he's in street clothes. He's just inactive. Like
no, this injury he has.
He didn't suit up today.
How did he get injured? Doing what?
It's either the shoulder or it's his knee. One of the two.
Doing what?
I think his shoulder just never has healed, right?
Yeah, that they're being very careful with the shoulder. And I would be.
Chat saying his heel.
Is his heel?
I don't know. Chat saying that. But yeah, he hasn't played in a long time. And I mean, part of that is because he hasn't earned it. But I mean, it could be injury. They said heel injury from practice. Chat saying. So I don't know. These guys get hurt so often in practice. I swear to God, it feels like they're the only team that gets this hurt.
Well, heat culture, baby. Okay, but I do. Charles Million says NBA should review the video again and suspend Rozier for the rest of the season.
You got to make an example out of him.
And honestly, listen, I'm happy that he stuck up for his teammate, but what he did was incredibly dangerous.
He could have killed that man.
He could have killed somebody. It's not basketball. I mean, he resorted to the street stuff. Thugs, hooligans, whatever you want to call it.
Thuggery.
Yeah, he resorted to thuggery. Okay, but I do want to, I want to kind of keep this to like 30 minutes because I'm tired and I drank too much today. I thought I wasn't going to drink. It was like New Year's Day. I should drink. It didn't make any sense. I made sense of it, but it didn't need to happen. I do want to talk about the bench. Tonight, they only went 9 deep. I think the Terry suspension was part of it. I think Kevin Love not looking like an NBA player was part of it the other night. Not sure what's going on with Pella.
He hasn't played well recently.
No, but I'd love to see some Kashad, but they didn't. All right, so they just went with their 4 guys. They went with Jovic, Ware, Burks, and Jaquez. And there was a point in the game I was like, Jaquez can't play, right? And then he just came back and kept making play after play after play. Like, I do want to talk about Ware. I want to talk about Jovic. But one of the things, I don't know if it's just me, Jaime plays so fucking hard. It's really hard for me to get mad at him. Like it's really hard. And I understand why Spo can't take him off the floor. Like you can't watch him like go that hard and be like, go sit on the bench, young man. Like he's never half-assing it. Like he plays so fucking hard. And sometimes it looks good and sometimes it looks like, holy shit, what's happening here? But man, and then I was happy for him tonight because like tonight it paid off. A lot of times, like you just watch him hustling and you're like, this shit is just straight cardio. Like he ain't really doing nothing. But like tonight, I thought he played really, really, really well. I thought he had a couple sequences. I was like, holy shit, he missed the 2 free throws. But man, some of those spin moves, those moves in the paint, like they resulted in baskets instead of smoked layups. Which is always a thing with him, right? Like he does all these great moves and then like he throws the ball off the backboard and it's like going the other way.
He runs out of talent sometimes. All the talent used up and
it's just
$1 million move, 10-cent finish.
That's sophomore stuff, right? Like first year, nobody knows what you have. It works. Second year, people are like, yeah, we're not going for that pump fake. We're not going for the spin move. None of that. Third year is when you make a shift on what your skill set's going to be like. Is he going to dig a little deeper into his bag as far as footwork? Because it's the footwork base is there. You want to kind of expand on that, and maybe that helps with some of his game.
Kyle, you know what it is? Sometimes I feel like there's one too many moves.
Yes. Like he's not making a decisive move on the post. It's a move to a move to a move. It's like, no, bro, stop at the second move.
Yeah,
put the ball up.
It's like when you see a bad dancer, right? they memorize the steps. There's no impromptu to it. Like it's like I'm gonna get to step 4 no matter what. But sometimes you beat the man on step 2.
If you say he's doing too much of this.
Too much, like listen, like he has to get through the whole routine, and it's like, bro, like you had him on step 2. Just go. I remember when I used to coach kids, I'm like, feel them on your shoulder. You know what I mean? Like feel them. If that first move got him, go. G catching dancing straight.
But to your point, how many times do you see him just go for the first one?
No, he never does.
Like he pump fakes all the damn time, and that's like the defense is always sitting on the pump fake because he never goes for the first one.
No,
and that's where you have to set up the pump fake. Like it's if you use the pump fake all the time, it's just a pump fake.
I mean, the instance I would use is if Rondo always used the fake he used to use. No one's gonna go for the fake if you use it every single time. It works because it's only used in specific situations. So sometimes he's spun left, spun right. He should go for the shot. But then he spins back right. And it's like, bro, be decisive. Be decisive. Yeah. I think that's the third year thing, though.
I mean, sometimes he has a guy on his hip. He has a shoulder. He has a left shoulder by where the right-handed layup is there, and he still spins back to the right. And it's like, what are you doing?
And into defense, right? Like there's defense who's now crowded him. Like they've come to help on that. So instead of him having a chance at a shot, he is with 2 defenders, and it ends up in a turnover sometimes.
And at that point, one of his teammates is cut into the basket as well. So now another guy comes in, and it's just a mess.
And he does need to learn how to use those moves to make space to make a pass.
Yeah,
yes. Because when Jaime gets the ball on the post, it ain't coming out. It ain't coming out. Like Jaime is going to try to score, which I love about him. I love that aggressiveness. But also, so we got to talk about Jovic and Ware. And even though I do want Jovic starting, man, I love that backcourt. I love that front line together.
Yeah.
I like the size. I love Tyler's connection.
The spacing with those 2 in the front, because Jovic can shoot relatively decent. So it does give Ware space to roam both offensively and defensively. If it's typically, again, we talked about it, he rolls hard to the rim. It doesn't always end up in him getting the ball, but at least takes the defender away, and it leaves space for whoever is up top or on the wing to kind of move. And he sets you said it the other day, he sets really good screens. Even whether it's a brush screen or it's a solid screen, he sets a
He
very.
wasn't doing that in summer league, Kyle.
Nah, he was looking to slip all the time.
Every time.
And the Heat guards, like the Heat offense, needs you to hold that screen a beat longer than you're expecting to, because a lot of times the read is to slip because they're not touching you and you have the lane, but the guards can't get open. The guards aren't need that screen, and him holding it for a beat, knocking these guys on their ass, and has got himself more open because the guards have the lane to give him the ball now.
But it shows he can learn and he can grow, right?
Yeah, we got the youth here. Nico in the post finds cutting Jaime, finds Ware cutting.
Like the 3 too.
The walking into the 3 was
if he can get that going,
this one
that expands the game a lot.
The trailer 3.
Well, what I like about Ware is just being decisive. Like, he was going to shoot that shot,
right?
Like he said, if I get this ball, I'm shooting the shot. How many guys would have got that pass that he just on that first play you showed? Well, here we go. Comes across. His eye was on that shot the whole time.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
and the first play you showed, Franky, how many of our guys would have pump faked a layup,
right,
and passed it back out? Like, just decisive. Like, listen, if I get he was dunking that ball no matter what. Like, I love Haywood to death, but Hay was gonna pump fake and pass it out, or shoot some kind of weird floater. And not everybody is 7'2", all right? So I get that. And
sometimes you get friendly fire, like boom.
It's funny because if you slow it down, Ware is looking like, my bad.
Shit.
Right as he turns, he's like, my bad, bro.
Do you think Jaime curses in Spanish? There's no way. Man. But yeah, like your point, like it's just nice to the youth to, like, even though they're not perfect and they still make a lot of mistakes. Their athleticism helps clean up some of that. Their energy sparks a lot of runs for the Heat, and you see the potential in their growth. Like,
and it looks like Tyler loves playing with them.
Yeah, they're just getting out and running and playing free, and Tyler gets to orchestrate that. Nico is one of the few guys on the roster. I think he might be the only guy on the roster right now because Drew's gone, but he's a pass first guy. He wants to get the ball out of his hands, and I love that about him. I've always loved that about him. And he's with his height, and it really helps find those passes. And he's not great in the post yet, but he brings attention and he can make passes out of the post. Once he masters like finishing consistently over mismatches and stuff, that's going to be a dangerous motherfucker.
Well, Rockets game, right? That pass from the post across court to Haywood, that's just like, to me, a glimpse of what he can do consistently.
For sure.
As he adds to his game post-wise. So I think it's a matter of time and him getting reps on, like, that's that. And I'm sure that they've talked, they run practices. Yo, we need you when we have this particular lineup to facilitate. So he's not just posting up to punish the smaller guy. He's posting up to bring attention, like you mentioned, and then also find a guy who's either rotating into space, which I think, Alf, I said this a few pods back. If guys go into spaces, that's where Jovic is going to find them. He's looking for guys to go to spots. He's not passing to guys. He's passing to spots and for guys to be there.
And guys got to move. Guys got to move for that.
And I think the team is slowly, not that it's centered around him, but they're starting to understand, when I'm playing with him, if I move to this spot, it's optimal. I'll get the ball.
But you see a night tonight, like tonight, where they score almost 120 points, and the whole game, offensively, you felt good about them the whole game. Defensively, there were some times where I wanted to tear my hair out. But they just played outside of Jimmy, right? They just played a bunch of guys that move, right? Yeah. Like, it ain't Terry, Black Hole Terry. It ain't Josh Richardson. It's not these guys. And, like, listen, Jaime becomes a little bit of a black hole when he gets the ball in the post. But otherwise, Jaime's constant motion, right? And so these are the guys like you're talking about that Jovic can play with because they're constantly moving. Like he's trying to get them the ball in places, like guys on the move, guys moving towards the basket, moving towards open spots behind the 3-point line. And yeah, I know tonight was against the Pelicans.
Right. And but to your point, Alf, 33 assists. Everybody on the team got an assist tonight. 10 turnovers. Like, I'll take that every night.
Only 10 turnovers for the night. And I know the Pelicans aren't a great defensive team, but these are the kind of. I mean, the Heat lost some of these games the past few years,
Right.
right? So, like, I mean, we can't take any win for granted. But like, and that's where I'm just like, watching this team without some of these guys is just so much. Like, it's to me, this has been a more enjoyable season than last year, right? Because watching Tyler has been so much fun. But it just, when you start injecting these Terry Roziers and Josh Richardsons, that's when it's like, it just kills it for me, man. I want to see Khalil Ware, and I'm so glad they traded Thomas Bryant. Like, because listen, I don't care if Ware fucks up. Like, it's something new, it's something different, it's something we haven't seen since Hassan Whiteside.
And to me, the upside is dramatically higher, right? The ceiling's a bit higher. There's a lot of room for improvement. We don't know what he's like behind the scenes. Maybe y'all do. But he seems like he's an even keel kind of guy. He's going to come to, he takes it. He's like he's a professional from what I can understand so far. He's coming here. He knows he's not going to start. He's a rookie. He's going to earn his minutes. He's going to put in the effort to, make sure he's ready when his number is called. And then when he plays out there, it's with a lot of effort. Like, that's what you expect from a rookie that you pick in the first round, right? You expect some effort. You expect for him, especially if you're talking about a big, you're expecting some defense. He hustles. And so that's I think that's the bright side in playing him. Me calling for his minutes was mainly because I felt like some of what I saw in Summer League could translate now in the league. Like, granted, there's so much room for improvement. However, I think what he gives you in size and athleticism down low, both offensively and defensively, helps with what they do and what they want to do. And he's a deterrent at the rim. I saw it again tonight. Like, guys are driving
several times,
and some guys are going to make shots over him. I mean, that's just going to be what it is. But for the most part, he makes it difficult. And Bam being able to sit for extended minutes while another big kind of does that, he doesn't have to rush back to the table, is beautiful. I think over time there's so much room for him to get better.
You know what I noticed, guys? He doesn't go block hunting.
Correct.
Not to the point where it's at the detriment of the defense. Like, he's not going out for blocks, and then all of a sudden the opposing center is getting a putback dunk.
Right.
Which what fucking
Whiteside
used to fucking do all the time. He used to hunt for blocks, and then and yeah, he might have deterred a shot, but now Jonas Valanciunas or somebody's there with a putback dunk or just a putback layup. He's not doing that. Like, his blocks are legit. I needed to come help. I'm not standing around 3 seconds in the key waiting for somebody just to pad my stats. Like, his blocks are legit. Like, and he's really he has a rim deterrent. He's not going to be the guy guarding somebody on the perimeter like Bam does. But they change the entire defense when he comes out there. And one of the things that's nice is, like, that's throwing a whole different wrinkle at another offense.
Mm-hmm.
They got to prepare for a drop, and then they got to prepare for switching. Like, they got to prepare for everything because they're throwing so many different things at you. But listen, I was how we normally look for the joke, guys. I'm exhausted. We're on a back-to-back. Like, we don't need nothing funny. Kyle, you got a joke to end on, or we good here?
That Jimmy played no more minutes for them. He didn't play at all from the third quarter. From the third quarter, he said, "Coach, don't put me back out there. I'm putting on these sweats."
Do you guys think he didn't play the fourth quarter because of? Somebody saying something about Kevin Love's IG, Carly Tiana.
Oh yeah. Kev's been on one for the last 2 days.
Oh yeah, he was hyping up Tyler.
Is that what we're talking about, or is there something new for tonight?
Let me check.
Do you guys think that Jimmy didn't play the fourth quarter because it's the back-to-back, or because he was so fucking bad?
Because we got aggressive Jimmy's locked in.
Not the locked in. Stupidly locked in. Hopefully not.
No, Love didn't post anything new. He just posted I think they were just talking about the suspension thing.
Yeah. The fact that Tyler got got fined $25,000 for getting thrown to the floor is hilarious.
That's very Adam Silver's league.
Man, I miss Deezus and Mero because they would have got that and made the Sonic rings fall out of Tyler.